Hello, it is me, it is I. Hi, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, hi. My name is Wendy Ivy Martinez, also known as the Geek Goddess here on YouTube. And today, we're going to be talking about some more book recommendations based off of video game characters. We've done Baldur's Gate. We've done Baldur's Gate villains. Now, we're going to talk about another game that I have grown up playing since I was 10 years old. I've been playing this game and I have been obsessed, and that is The Sims. We're going to be talking about some book recommendations based off of iconic Sim characters. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're going to start off with one of the most famous families in the whole Sims series, and that is the Goth family. So we're going to talk about Mortimer and Bella Goth. So if you guys know this couple, this duo, you guys know that Mortimer and Bella Goth pretty much live a very gothic lifestyle. They always had very macabre tastes and things. They always, you would always find Mortimer kind of mourning by the tombstones and the gravestones. And then Bella Goth went missing and nobody knows what happened to her. They speculated aliens, but is that the truth? What happened to Bella Goth? And for that reason, that whole vibe, the whole gothy aesthetic, the whole romance between Bella and Mortimer, and the fact that Bella went missing, I have to, of course, recommend, there's nothing more perfect than this recommendation, and that is Gothicana by Runix. This is the perfect recommendation for these two characters because in this story we are basically following our main character, and she gets into this very gothic-y, classic castle gothic vibe university called Varenmore, and then she catches the eye of a professor, and this professor is very mysterious, and in return the professor catches her eye as well. So vice versa. And our main character, Corvina, realizes that something is going on with this university because every 5 years, for the past 100 years, someone has gone missing, much like Bella Goth. So, and this professor starting to see that Corvina might be a little dangerous because she might be close to figuring out what is going on behind these mysteries. So he needs to keep a close eye on her. So that is the story, the tale. It's a tale of dark romance. It very much gives me Bella and Mortimer Goth vibes. So if you want something that resembles their whole lifestyle and romance and story, here you go. All right, so the next character that we're going to talk about is a very famous NPC. And that is none other than the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper has appeared in pretty much every single Sims game, from the first one up until the latest one. And if you guys know the Grim Reaper, he's there to collect some souls, but you can bargain with him. And sometimes you can even have a whole conversation with him, hang out with him, invite him to your home, and pretty much make him a friend, close ally, maybe even have a romance with him. That's what you can do with a Grim Reaper. So for this one, the book that I recommend is A Dirty Job by Christopher Moore. And this one we are following our main character, Charlie. And Charlie basically he lives a normal life. He lives a normal life. He's married to a normal woman and he just has a normal life. He's just living like everyone else. He has a home. He's about to have his first child. But then all of a sudden, people just start dropping dead around him. And he's like, okay, what the heck is going on? And it turns out that Charlie has a brand new job position that he has to fill. And that is being the Grim Reaper. The reason why I recommend this one specifically for this character is because if you guys have interacted with the Grim Reaper in The Sims, you guys know that you could literally hang out with him. Okay? You could literally have a full-on conversation, become friends with the Grim Reaper. He just wants to be a normal dude, but he does have a job that he has to do, and that's to collect souls. But other than that, he's just a normal guy. And that's why I wanted to recommend this one, because I just thought it was absolutely perfect. It's humorous, much like the Grim Reaper. I feel like the Grim Reaper in the Sims franchise is just very, he's not meant to be taken like seriously. He's not meant to be someone to fear. He's meant to be somebody that you want to interact with, even if your Sim dies. You know what I mean? So I feel like this one is a good recommendation because it is a more humorous take on such a dark character, what's typically seen as a dark character. So the next character that we're going to talk about is Miss Crumplebottom. So Miss Crumplebottom was a very snobby lady, okay? She was very influential, and then later on in games she shows up as a ghost, and her husband, I believe, shows up as a ghost. Almost as if like she was always up to no good. It felt like, you know, she had that like very like snobby face. Do you get what I mean? So the perfect recommendation that I have for you, that I feel is the perfect recommendation anyways, is An Elderly Lady is Up to No Good by Helen Thurston. And in this one, we are following our main character who is now 80 years old, and her name is Maud. And we are following her in her elderly years. And basically, Maud, when she was younger, at the only very young age of 18, she loses her husband. Like, her husband is gone. And because of this tragedy, she ends up inheriting this apartment and ends up living a rent-free life. Okay, so she's living the good life. And she realizes that good things can come from tragedy. So she embarks on a lot of misadventures in order to get things that she wants. But then a murder happens in her apartment complex, and a detective is starting to think that maybe this little old lady isn't so nice after all, and she might have something sinister going on. So this is a very like mystery, crime-ish sort of tale, but it's also very humorous, which again falls very in line with The Sims. I just feel like The Sims in general is very funny. Like, it's a very humorous game. I mean, for example, who just stands there while their stove is on fire? You don't just stand there and let it burn you. But these Sims are so funny. I just feel like the whole franchise is just very a satire way of it's like a satire of life in general. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense? I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm saying that right. That's how I feel. So that's why I wanted to bring more like lighthearted books into the mix, but we do have some dark ones too. But I just think this is like the perfect book for Miss Crumplebottom. All right, so the next NPC that we're going to be talking about is the cow plant. I had to throw the cow plant in here because I just feel like it's the most iconic plant to the Sims franchise. Okay, it is pretty much like a Venus flytrap, but it's a cow. And it can give you milk, but it can also eat you. So for this one, I have a recommendation. However, keep in mind that this book is not out yet. Okay, it's probably not going to be out for another year, but this book I just feel like it sounds so good, and it matches the cow plant perfectly. And it is called Eat the Ones You Love by Sarah Maria Griffin. And in this one, we are following two characters. We are following our main character, Shell. And Shell basically just left her fiance. You know, she has nothing good going for her. Everything in her life is negative and she needs a change. So she sees this like hiring sign on this plant store, and she decides that plants might just be the thing that she needs, a little bit of positivity into her life. And so when she goes in to apply for the position, she meets Neve, which is like the beautiful florist, and, you know, gets to work there. There's a little secret in this like plant store, okay? There is this orchid that is growing, and this orchid's name is Baby. And Baby needs to be fed. And the more Baby feeds, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And it seems like nothing can satisfy Baby's hunger. Nothing but the thing that it most desires, which is Neve the florist. Okay, you guys know, if you guys have seen Little Shop of Horrors, you guys know that this matches that synopsis perfectly, and I think that it is perfect for the cow plant. So this one's not out yet, but keep that in mind for the future, okay? Because I feel like this is going to be a good one. Just had to mention this one. There's just no way that I couldn't mention this one for the cow plant. It was just perfect. Yeah, you can already pre-order it at least. So there's that. All right, so the next iconic NPC is going to be the Burglar from the Sims franchise. You guys know that if you guys do not lock your door, if you do not turn that alarm on, the Burglar will come, and this Burglar is so quick. Like, the fact that he can literally steal a whole bathtub in like 2.5 seconds and then just get out of there before the police even arrive, before you even get to your phone, is ridiculous. Okay, he's just the perfect thief, very sneaky, and for that I have chosen Among Thieves by M.J. Cutton. Now, in this series, in this book, we are following our main character, Raya, and Raya is known as the Butcher of Blackwood. Oh, the Butcher of Kerwick. So Raya is known as the Butcher of Kerwick, and she basically works with this like ragtag group of like criminals, and they get sent to steal something that is pretty much known to be unstealable. This whole book is very witty banter. It's very humorous. It is literally like Guardians of the Galaxy, but make it medieval, mixed with Pirates of the Caribbean, mixed with Throne of Glass. This is it. And if you guys liked Selena Sardothian / Aelin from the Throne of Glass series, the main character acts so much like her, and her witty comebacks and just the way that she acts. If you enjoy her personality, Selena Sardothian's personality, you would really enjoy this book. I just feel like this is like the perfect one. I mean, it's all about thieves and thieving, and I had to pick this one for the Burglar. And this is a adult fantasy. I don't think I mentioned all of them. Yeah, so the other one, these are all adult books. So this one's an adult fantasy. So next we have another NPC, and that is the aliens. The aliens are so iconic, again, to the Sims franchise. They like to abduct you. They drop you back off, and all of a sudden you're pregnant. And so for that, I wanted to choose something a little bit more serious because I feel like a lot of the books that I picked are pretty humorous. And so for that one, I'm going to choose The Three-Body Problem by Cizin Liu. This whole plot is complex, but essentially all you have to know is that it's a sci-fi, okay? It's a very complex plot line, but it's not hard to follow. It's hard to explain out loud, but it is not hard to follow. It is now a Netflix show, and there are aliens in it. I can't tell you how there are aliens in it, but there are aliens in it. Because this plot is so complex, I'll just give you little bits and details about it so you guys can see if this is something that you would want to read or not. So, it's made to TV, and the show's doing wonderful. It is sci-fi. There are aliens. There's a lot of sciencey talk. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of conspiracy. There is VR, video games, quantum theories. It's dark, but it's a book that literally will have you thinking about it so long after you flip the last page. And it is a trilogy. So you don't have to worry. If you don't want to invest in a super long series, you don't have to with this one. It's just a 3-part trilogy, but it is not a standalone. So if that all seems intriguing to you, I would really highly recommend you checking this one out. It's amazing. Like, I went into this completely blindly, not even knowing the synopsis. I did it for a reading blog, and I was blown away. I was blown away. So the less I tell you about it, I think the better. Okay, I think the better. And then after you read the trilogy, then check out the show. Okay, so the last character is going to be Bonehilda. So Bonehilda is a very iconic maid. She doesn't really have too much of a backstory, but we do know that you do have to summon her in order for her to become your maid. But Bonehilda, she looks terrifying, okay, because she's literally a skeleton. But all she wants to do is clean your house. That's all she wants to do. Does she have a backstory? We don't know. We don't know the history of Bonehilda. We just know that she's a housemaid that needs to be summoned. But nobody really knows who Bonehilda is. And so for that one, of course, you guys may already know what I'm going to recommend, and that is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. This is a thriller book in which we are following our main character, who is a housemaid. Now, this housemaid has her secrets. Okay, she's working for this like rich couple. The more she sees this like rich couple, they have like a bratty child. The wife is very like rude and mean. She wants to be the wife. Like she really wants to almost like live her life. She ends up, I think she tries on like the wife's clothes, and they find out about this. And so they end up locking her inside her room, not knowing, and she didn't know that once she's locked in there, they can literally lock her in and she can never get out. And so she's locked in there. But the thing is, even though they think that they got a one-up on this housemaid, they don't know who she really is and what she's capable of. And that is what this one's about. Much like Bonehilda, very secrecy, very mysterious past, and obviously the fact that she's a housemaid. And I just think that this is the perfect recommendation for that. So anyways, you guys, that is it. That is my recommendation video. Iconic Sims characters. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Let me know what other video games you want me to do. I'm literally called the Geek Goddess for a reason, so I do love my video games and my whole fandom. I can even do like animes, different shows. You guys let me know what you want to watch, and I will be sure to make book recommendations for it. So yes, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell to be notified when I post. I post twice a week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!